I gotta testify. I'm up in the spot looking extra fly. For the day I die.
Scott, looking forward to it. Now, our next guest is using big data to help small businesses. OnDeck is an online real-time platform for Main Street business lending. With its most recent round of funding, the company's crossed the $180 million mark and is set to reach $1 billion in loans delivered by mid-March. Noah Breslow is the CEO of OnDeck, and he joins us now. Noah, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Thanks for having us on the program. How are you?
Thanks for being here. Because, look, this gets to the bread and butter of what it is that Wall Street and the financial system is all about. It's about getting capital to businesses. How are you guys able to do this so quickly, so efficiently, and in a way that looks like it will be growing quite rapidly going forward?
Yeah, it's really all about the power of technology. What our systems do is we collect thousands of electronic data points about small businesses all across the country, and we use them with the algorithms we've developed to make a really efficient real-time lending decision about a small business. And from the owner's point of view, they come to our website and they can be decisioned for up to $35,000 in minutes right online.
So, Noah, the real advantage, the innovation here is about using technology to make those complex decisions that a loan officer used to do and do it better and more quickly?
That's right. I mean, the traditional process at a bank can be very cumbersome and time-consuming for business owners. I mean, just like all of us, small business owners are really, really busy, hard to step away from the business. It can take 30 days on average to get a loan from a traditional bank. So our technology really shortcuts all that, develops it using a big data approach, and makes it much more faster and convenient for those business owners out there.
No, for the life of me, I can't imagine how many data points there could be about the local hardware store. I mean, what information are you gathering that makes you so confident about mom and pop businesses that I don't imagine have much about them online?
I think that's actually changed a lot in the last few years. We look at a variety of data sources, both public and private. So we look at things like cash flow information very, very extensively. What is the real-time cash flow and transactions running through this business? We look at things like personal and business credit. But we also now look at public records, social data. There's a ton of new information online. Just think about Yelp and Foursquare and OpenTable. All these new sites are coming up showing lots of real-time information about businesses all across the country. We're tracking 8 million of them in real time right now.
Hey, Noah, a lot of small business, at least on our air, say, look, I'm up against regulations I don't understand, regulations I don't know if will actually become law. The last thing I'm going to do is look for financing to expand. Do you sense that pushback?
We do see that when the economic environment or the regulatory environment is uncertain, business owners are more reluctant to take on capital. What I think is encouraging about the data we see over the last couple of years is that as the economy has stabilized, as housing has kind of come back from the bottom, we've sort of seen business owners get more optimistic about how they can use capital to grow their business. And that's exactly the kind of use that makes sense for our loans.
Noah, you describe yourselves as a platform and not a bank necessarily. Who are you connecting people, or are you extending the capital, the loans yourselves? And if so, how much capital are you holding to protect against losses?
Yeah, so we're holding an extensive amount of equity capital to protect against losses. We actually get the money for the loans themselves from the capital markets, from banks like Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, KeyBank, Square One Bank, and a number of hedge funds and smaller individuals. So it's a variety of capital sources funding the loans. We're really connecting Wall Street to Main Street with our platform.
Are you regulated like a bank?
We're regulated like a non-bank commercial lender. So just like an equipment leasing company would be regulated, that's how OnDeck falls as well.
So what makes you, or I guess what makes a small business likely to go with you rather than the traditional means of just going to the local bank and getting a loan? I mean, I would guess that you would get a business that somehow would get turned down by a local bank. Is that right?
We serve both businesses that can't access capital from local banks as well as those that can. So for the ones that can't, banks are traditionally less excited about making smaller loans. Our average loan size is about $40,000. Banks typically like to make larger loans. It's more profitable for them to do that. Our technology lets us make those small dollar loans efficiently. We can actually serve a number of businesses that can't be approved by banks, but also doctors and dentists, for example, that traditionally are well served by banks, come to us for speed and convenience.
And finally, Noah, how much demand for loans? As you say, this is almost kind of a real-time product where people are able to go outside of traditional loan office hours and get access to capital. Do you see this happening on, evenings, overnight, weekends? Is that a big advantage of what you're able to offer?
Absolutely. Small business owners are so busy running their businesses during the day. The last thing we want to ask them to do is step away from that. So they can apply with us anytime, 24/7 online. We're open Saturdays as well with our sales and customer support team to support these businesses. And we do see a lot of use of our product after hours. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, and a lot of big-name investors on board with you guys as you expand. Noah Breslow, thanks so much for joining us this morning. Again, he's the CEO of OnDeck.
Thank you very much.
As you might have heard,